after 2 years of absolute, total crap, things are actually normal again. What is up, guys? This is Brett here from brettdev.com and welcome back to the channel. Today in this video, I thought we would talk about Thailand's plan to reopen. Okay, so I haven't actually discussed this. This is, it's almost as if everybody kind of forgot about, the big C, and it's completely gone away. But there is plans to reopen. Like I said, everyone's just getting back to normal. So today in this video, we're going to discuss what Thailand's plans actually are, and maybe if you're not keeping up to date on it, then you can make arrangements to come back. But before we get into that, if you are interested in coming to Thailand and if you want to have a plan to do so, then head on over to my website, go to brettdev.com/workshop, where you can sign up to watch a completely free 4-part video series. And in that series, I talk about how I came to Thailand, how I make money out here in Thailand, what I do for work, all of that other stuff. It's completely free. Just go to brettdev.com/workshop. Okay, so at the time of recording this video, it is the second week of April, and there have already been massive improvements. There's been massive progress towards reopening the country. So I've got a detailed description of what exactly the plan is here, what is going on, what is supposed to be happening over the next several months. One big thing right now is if you want to come to Thailand and you don't have a vax, then you no longer have to do a 10-day quarantine in Thailand. Actually, before I go forward, let me preface this just by saying this information is coming from the Bangkok Post, an article on the Bangkok Post website. So it is just basically mainstream news. So it's subject to change. You can take it with a pinch of salt. Hopefully, it will remain true. I've not done any reporting on the situation over the past 2 years because it always changes. However, I do believe that they're going to stick to it this time. You could call me optimistic or whatever, but what I'm seeing on the ground and what I'm seeing taking place, this is it now. I'm gonna, eat my words, but I'm pretty sure this is what's going to happen. So anyway, if you don't have the vax, then right now, if you come to Thailand as of the 1st of April, as I said, we're the first week of April, you're no longer going to need to quarantine for 10 days. Lucky you, you now only have to quarantine for 5 days, okay? Tourists who have had the vax can enter the country without the need to show a negative PCR test, but they still must take a PCR test upon arrival and an antigen test on day 5. Okay, so that is 5 days quarantine as of today, 5 days quarantine for people who are unvaxxed. People who are vaxxed, no need to take a PCR test before. You've only got to take a test when you arrive and 5 days later. This is what's called phase 2, the second phase, and they're calling it the plateau between April and May. So that is for this month. Now, the third phase is, they're calling it the declining phase, and this is between late May and June the 30th. So I don't know why the second phase is between April and May. It must be between April and the middle of May, or April and the end of May, so for the next 2 months. But the third phase is called the declining phase, and this is between late May and June 30th. And basically what this says is tourists who are fully vaxxed can enter the country without any requirements. Okay, so if you wait until May, you're going to be able to come in, wait until the end of May, sorry, you're going to be able to come in and you're not going to have to do anything. So it's going to basically go completely back to normal for people who have had the vax. Also, unvaxxed people can come in without anything whatsoever. This is at the end of May. They will just need to take a antigen test upon arrival. The test and go scheme will be completely scrapped, but the Thailand Pass will remain. So this is pretty good news, okay? And like I said, I think they're going to go ahead with this. I think this is accurate information. Everything so far has gone ahead. There was a phase 1, but that's already passed. We're into phase 2 already. So there's no point even mentioning that. And that's going to take us all the way up until June 30th. Now, the fourth phase is called the post-pandemic from July the 1st. And it will just basically see COVID pandemic downgraded to an endemic status, and tourists can enter the country regardless of whether they are vaxxed or unvaxxed with zero requirements. So this is good news, guys. Like I said, it's almost like everyone's just forgot about it. It's just disappeared. Thailand are a little bit late, but they've been late the whole time. I always say Thailand's like a year behind, because for the first year, we didn't even have any restrictions whatsoever. When the whole world was going crazy, Thailand pretty much just ignored it. What Thailand seems to do is whatever goes on in the world, they wait and see what happens, and then they act kind of last. And it seems to be the case this time. So whilst you've got countries all over Europe and all over the world completely dropping all restrictions, Thailand are sitting there going, well, should we drop them or should we wait and see what happens? Just like when the thing broke out, they were sitting there going, should we impose restrictions or should we wait and see what happens? And then 6 months later, Thailand comes along and does whatever the rest of the world's doing. So it's a bit of a nuisance, a bit of a pain, but it was a benefit when it first started, right? Because for 6 months we didn't have anything. It's just like Thailand are almost lagging, right? They're lagging behind with everything that happens. But it's not just with this. They do this with a lot of things. So it's pretty smart, actually, to be fair. I mean, people are knocking it, but you know, they don't rush and make hastily decisions. They just wait and see what's going on, and then they act. So yeah, that's an update of what's going to be going on. Like I said, I do think that this will go forward. It does seem like everything's opening up in Thailand now. All of the nightlife's pretty much open. I know down in Pattaya and in Bangkok and places like that, they still have restrictions. They have more restrictions than they have up here in Chiang Mai. In Chiang Mai, everything is pretty much completely back to normal. I mean, I've even seen big like concerts and massive nightclubs opening, and all that sort of stuff. So, squirrel. A lot of these rules, they're saying, are subjected to the number of infections, cases, and all this is going to go down and take place if like infections remain below a certain level and all of that stuff. But I honestly I can't see them negging on this. Okay, they'll be like one of the only few countries in the world that are going to still impose like crazy restrictions. Even neighboring countries and stuff now. Myanmar, I'm pretty sure you can travel to Myanmar without a vax. It's the way a lot of these countries are doing it is they are suggesting that you need one, but actually if you look at the actual rules, you don't, right? So Myanmar you can enter now. I'm pretty sure you can enter Vietnam as well. It's the same as it's been the whole 2 years. You know, what the mainstream media reports and the reality on the actual ground is quite different. They try and get people to think that, you know, a certain way, but it's actually not the law, it's not the rules. Like I say, if you wanted to go into Myanmar or Vietnam, I'm pretty sure you don't need anything. You just need to take a test when you arrive. But they'll make out like you've got to take 100 shots and you've got to do all this other stuff if you look at the news before you get there, but it's not actually accurate. That's a quick update, guys, on Thailand's plan to completely reopen. Will it happen? I hope so. Like I say, I think it's going to be, I think it's pretty accurate information. If anything changes, then I will, I guess I'll post an update on my status on YouTube. But I've never wanted to, throughout this whole 2 years, being like, I could have done it. It would have got a lot of views. But like, I don't want to be reporting, like, this isn't a news channel. The reason I'm making this video is because it's kind of a celebration, almost, like after 2 years of absolute, you know, total crap, things are actually normal again. And finally, thanks to, I don't know, maybe just thanks to different news stories taking place, you know, maybe a little country in East Europe has made everybody forget about it and it's all gone away. So I don't know what that's about, but yeah, great. That's it for the video, guys. I've got not much more to say on it. I'm just happy it's over. I'm happy it's done with, and hopefully, like they say here, from the 1st of July, it's going to be completely done. We can get completely back to normal. You know, even now, there's lots and lots of tourists. I go for walks around the old city nearly every day, and there's tourists all over the place, you know, backpackers, young tourists. Bar scene's really picking up. If you go out to the bars, it's pretty packed, and you got late nights. You can have a really, really great time in Chiang Mai now. I made a video about the nightlife a couple of months ago, when it was kind of reopening, and I kind of suggested, yeah, if you come now, you could kind of have a good time. If you come to Chiang Mai now, you're guaranteed you're going to have a really, really good time. If you like nightlife, you've got exactly like it was before. It's just like it was before. No tests, no requirements to do anything when you go in and out of places. It's just completely free and open. Like I say, just like before. In fact, I think they've got more restrictions down in Bangkok and Pattaya than they actually have up here in Chiang Mai, like I said. So that's all for now, guys. I hope you liked the video. I hope it helped. If you've not been keeping up with the news, not been keeping up with the information, then this is great news. I'm actually going to post what I just described in this video down in the description, so you can actually look at the dates and the exactly what they're saying, so you don't have to go back and rewatch the video. If you like this video, then you probably want to check out this one. And like I said at the beginning, if you are interested in coming to Thailand, if you want to see how I moved here back in 2015, what I do to make money online, how I stay here and all that stuff, then make sure you're going to go ahead and check out this link, because it's going to be super, super helpful for you. That's all for today, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.